We just wanted to make a better product and let the world decide whether or not we're better at what we're doing. How did we know what drummers wanted out there? Well, I was one of them. Living in LA, you got to know the best drummers in the world. If you make something that fills a need or a void for a drummer, we're selling to our own community. That's what you made.
There was no aspiration to do more than just get through what we were doing at the time. There was no big master plan to take over the universe of drums. There just wasn't.
The solid trap case throne is what all the pro players used. They were made custom to those guys. The obvious solution to me was making a seat that adjusted up and down.
The seat actually got us in a couple doors.
No question it got us in a couple doors. As we did with every product, we went overboard. The big one, of course, was the chain and sprocket. All we had to do was take that pedal and figure out a way that we could make it stabler for the rock guys. Tommy came out and we were working on his pedal. He had called and said, we just finished our tour, which was 8 or 9 months, and we'd use your pedal on the whole tour. And I'd given him the pedal, so I assumed you use it on the whole tour. I said, well, that's good. He said, no, what I mean is we use the one pedal you gave us. We never use the backup pedal at all.
There was an opportunity. I would fix drums for guys, and I had a knack for tuning drums. You know, you'd hit the drum and go, wow, now it's a drum.
You were the drum tech of all drum techs. Major arenas, Jackson, Michael Jackson, Madonna,
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Zappa.
Zappa. That's when it became necessary for me to create a custom shop of timbre-matched drums. Boy, did that just open all these doors. But I swear, it's taken so many years to get all these people together in the back, and it's just gold.
We've been so blessed to put together such a talented team of drummers. That's the community I kind of want to be in. Kind of took the drumming community and honed it into the DW drumming community, if you will. 50 years later, I've got things in my office that we're not going to have ready for the end of this year that are just backed up because we have other new things that we're working on.
Check, check. Let me be the first to congratulate John Good and my dad, Don Lombardi, on 50 years. Let's give it to him. Give him a hand. My name's Chris Lombardi, as you can see there on the screen. 38 years for me, only 38. I don't get 12 more years. Name's on the screen.
You know, I'll never forget, you were like a kid when we started this.
Yeah, I was not like a kid.
You were a kid.
I was a kid.
He was 3, as a matter of fact.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming. This means a tremendous amount to us. We really appreciate it. We also want to thank the millions of people that are watching online that this is being streamed to. No one really knows how many, so. So thank you, everybody at home. Thank you, everybody, for coming. On the thank yous, I want to thank our dealers and distributors who are here. They came out to spend the week, a couple days with us. Yeah, let's give them a big hand. They came from all over the country and all over the world. Without you guys, you know, through the years, you guys might touch on it a little bit, but none of this would be possible, so thank you guys very much. Also, I want to thank the entire marketing team for all their hard work in putting this thing together. Let's give them a big round of applause. It was no small task. No small task for sure, but I will definitely say you nailed it. Jules, I see you back there hiding your best, but thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Jules, thank you. I see you.
She's great.
She's hiding. Yeah, a big round of applause for Jules. Come on.
Yeah.
And with that, nobody wants to hear me talk, so I'm going to turn this over. I appreciate that. I'm going to turn this over to...
You just got jeered.
Yeah, I know, I did. See, I have one fan here.
One thing.
38 years. Oh. Turn it over to John Good, my dad, Don Lombardi. They're going to tell some great stories. Thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Chris was born about 4 or 5 blocks from here.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And about 3 or 4 years after that would have been 1972, and that's when Drum Workshop started as a teaching studio.
And I stumbled into that place, and I thought, okay, I need to play better. So I was like as stiff as a board, terrible technique. And I wanted to be a rock and roll drummer. And Don said, well, let's see what you got. And I sat down and I started playing like I play, and he goes,
Need a little work.
need a little work.
And John, you had actually he drove out here on his motorcycle
Yeah,
from Michigan
Michigan.
at 17 years old on his own, not knowing what he's going to do when he gets here.
Didn't know how to drive a motorcycle.
No. So we figure things out as we go. That's kind of been our history for the last 50 years. People think there's this great science behind all this, but a lot of it is trial and error, and we see what works and what doesn't work.
And when the funny thing that didn't work for me was I was trying to tell Don that he didn't know what he was doing. I want to do it this way. He says, well, why in the hell are you?
Yeah, when you're a teacher,
Asking me-
he's told the story that I've said he was my worst student. When that part's true, but I wasn't referring to his drumming. You wouldn't put down a student like that. It's just like when you tell a student the same thing 3 times, 3 weeks in a row, and he says, I don't want to do it that way, then the next thing is,
Yeah.
well, what do we want to do next?
Stuff
John?
happens.
So,
And you'll say you never said this, but I swear to God he did.
I'll say again, I never said it.
He did say it. And the deal was, he said, and Don's not a real touchy-feely kind of guy. But he put his hand on my shoulder, and we were looking over there. And I go, okay, what's over there? And he goes, I've had all kinds of tremendous students. They've gone on to recording careers, touring, Broadway, everything, studio. You're not going to be one of them.
I did not say that.
You
I did.
did
I said.
too say
I
it.
said let's not argue in front of the live stream here with everybody watching. But one thing that has carried us through all of these years, I can't think there's been a week or sometimes not more than a day or two that we didn't have a belly laugh over some dumbass thing that one of the two of us did, and usually me. Because as you're growing a company, you do what you think is best. Always, our passion was to improve the state of the art of drumming for every drummer in the world. And it was always a huge compliment to us when somebody decided to play DW drums. And started out in the late 70s with the pedal, which was our big history, the 5000 pedal, which is one of our 50th anniversary products, is a new version of the 5000 pedal I'll tell you about in just a moment. But that was important to us because it was an important part of the toolbox of any drummer. And we felt that we had an edge on making a really good quality one, and that would be a way that we would have an entree into meeting and getting to know the great drummers in the world. And in addition, John went out on the road in the 80s because he had the opportunity to become, I think, one of the best drum techs of all time, as a matter of fact.
Well, I don't know about that. But,
So, and that's how we...
I just wanted to make more than $75 a week.
I was paying him $75 a week. They were paying him $450 a week. So there was not too much. But we kind of capitalized on that. I'm thinking, there's the entrepreneurial spirit. Why should I pay somebody when somebody else can pay him? I can send him stuff to try it out. It's the same as if he was my employee. So
And we did that.
we did it for 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Tell them the people you went out with, Michael
No,
Jackson.
I mean,
Madonna.
all these people. Anyway,
Michael Jackson, Madonna.
Yeah,
The list went on and on.
there were some great people and great drummers. And one of them's here tonight, Chad Wackerman, that I worked with. And, I put him through the double pedal hell. Just to, remember the hitch pins we had?
The double pedal, yeah, was one
Oh,
of our
God.
one of the products we
And they'd
perfected.
wear out, we got them at Lincoln Hardware or something, and oh, God. And then the stuff I put people through
Well, it was trial
because
and
of
error
you,
for us.
anyway.
Well, I would send pedals out there, people you wouldn't think you'd be trying them in front of 100,000 people at a stadium with Michael Jackson out in front. And if it didn't work, he would crawl into the drums and fix it and get it to work again. But there was, those years, were treasured for us. And as the years have gone by, here we are 50 years later. Same passion, same excitement, same not getting everything done when we're supposed to have it done. But we have some things for you today and tonight, and some special guests that we're going to bring up here in just a moment.
You're going to love this. But I will tell you that we do finally get things done, and I'm impassioned by the fact that Don and I have been together. I mean, some marriages that don't last that long, unfortunately. But he and I have been together. I've watched, Chris, you just saw, grow up, and all your kids. And my wife, Esther, who's here. Yes. I just love the fact that I've got a community of people who really care about what we do. And it's just been a wonderful ride for 50 years. And the other day I woke up and I went, good Lord, it can't be. And it was, and it is. And it's wonderful. And you're all here. And I can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough either, too. It makes it special and at the same time emotional for us, too. And I'd like to have us talk a little bit about one of the 50th anniversary products we have, and have a friend of ours come up and talk with him a little bit first before he plays it, about his relationship with DW and what it started and when he first heard DW drum sets. And I think it's about time. Let's welcome our dear friend and one of the greatest rock drummers of all time, I will say that, Chad Smith. Chad, come on up and join us, wherever he might be. He could be coming. He's coming.
There he is.
He's there. Here he is. Yay. Wow. Here we go. Chad.
I love these guys.
It's Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah. Chad couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Hello?
Hello? Check? I don't know. Oh, no.
We're getting it.
Oh.
There you go. Whoa.
How about these guys? Come on. These guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And still alive. Oh. Can you imagine the drugs? And Don, I'm like, where? John, you forgot your glasses.
I had laser surgery recently, so this is the first time anybody's seen me without glasses.
I've never seen him without glasses.
I know. He's like, looks like he.
I might not be Don Lombardi.
Yeah.
How are you sure? You might not know that.
He's an
I am.
imposter. That's great.
When did you first hear about DW making drums? Was that a weird thought?
Yeah. I'd seen drummers playing the DW drums, and I was like, what is that? What DW? What does that mean? What's DW stand for?
Dishwater?
Yeah, dishwasher would be the first thing that comes to mind. But I first, like you guys talked about, I got turned on to with the pedals. And so I've been playing DW pedals since 1992, so 30 years. And that turned me on to obviously all the drums and everything that you guys do. And I didn't get on board with the drums till a little bit later, unfortunately. I played the drums many times and recorded with them and had them, but I was with another company. But these guys, are up in Oxnard. I live in Malibu, and it's literally like right up the coast. And so I'll just show up unannounced.
We'll be in the middle of a sales meeting or a board meeting.
Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I'm showing up.
He's in the
They're
room with
crunching
everybody.
numbers, and Chris is like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "Ah, you fucking DW!" He just hates it. Yeah, you should have like a picture of me with like a line talking about him, man. Yeah, but.
Ghostbusters.
The instruments and the love that goes into it, what these guys do and have done for all these years, I've never seen that level of passion about making unbelievably, fantastic musical instruments and the innovation, and they're always trying to do new things and grow and change. Take risks. anything. I mean, I have a silver set back there I asked them to make for me, you know, and nothing can be shiny, and the drums this and that, and they're like, okay. I remember the first time I came up with John, and I'd been playing with another company, and we'd known each other, and he said, great, I'll take you on the tour, and I'm going to show you all the different kind of drums, and what, you know, this one was buried in Lake Erie, and I brought it up, and this one was from the German Alps, and, you know, like, he's the wood whisperer, all these crazy, I'm like, what? And we look at all these different beautiful, beautiful drums, and we sit down in his office, he goes, so what do you think you want to play? And I'm like, I want to play an acrylic.
You can only imagine. So,
God, and God bless him. We don't make acrylic.
but we did.
We made them for you.
We did.
Yeah. It all worked out. But now that drum set back there is a mahogany maple. Oh, it's so beautiful, and you know, I finally got on board, John. I can't remember.
You got on board, and you know what? I thank every day for you. Thank you so much, man.
You're going to learn about some of our new 50th anniversary products here. One is the pedal. If Connor's here, maybe he could bring it up. My grandson, Connor Lombardi, if he's here with the pedal, he's part of the R&D team. So what we did is we thank you very much, Con. We waited until he was older to hire him. My rest of my family started when they were 11, 12, and 13, but we won't talk about that. I might get arrested or something. This is the basically the 5000 that everybody knew and loved, and we kind of looked at it and thought, for the memorabilia standpoint, being our 50th anniversary, how could we go back to our classic pedal and even think about something else we could do? Through the years, we've evolved with different series, with the 9 and the MCD, and then in terms of changing different features on the pedal to make it easier to adjust or have a lighter feel or less throw. But looking at this, the thought was, why don't we see if we can use some new materials, which is carbon fiber, and make a carbon fiber footboard. So it has the throw of a 5000, but it has the lightweight feel of a 9 because you don't feel anything under your foot, especially the few drummers that play without their shoes on. They love these. So this is a new 50th anniversary product that we have. We're going to talk about the big one here in just a minute, too, but we also have the Edge snare drum. You want to talk about that?
Well, the Edge snare drum's the Edge snare drum. You played one, and they slice like a knife. They're wonderful. They could hit the back seat at Madison Square Gardens, and you got no problems with that. First time I actually hit one of these drums was at Madison Square Gardens, and I was trying to tune it, and remember those speed keys we had?
I thought they were good. It was my idea. I didn't have the idea. It was a Camco product, but it was my idea to put it in our product line.
But it was cast.
That was a bad idea I had when making it.
And it was
the good idea
down.
was to make a speed key out of, and they made it out of metal, and I thought, well, why wouldn't you cast it? Well, there's an obvious reason, because...
So anyway, I'm tuning these drums, and it was an Edge snare drum. I was just trying it out. And... So anyway, the thing broke. You know, it's a split. So I took this thing, and I just said, damn it, I'm going to tell Don. Because I was on the road, and I would call you. So I threw this, for all I was worth, to the back of Madison Square Garden. Okay. So this is like 1980 or something like that. I was with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And, as a roadie, you got to tear everything down at night, and all the lights, house lights come up, and it's like weird. And this usher, this lady, she's very kind, came up to me and said, I think you lost this.
Classic. The 50th anniversary drum set. We have a little bit of a reveal video that we can show on that, and then we're going to reveal a little bit more of it as soon as we watch the video. So you want to roll that video if you can?
First of all, I want to thank all of you for 50 years. 50 years. God. I don't know where inspiration comes from for a lot of people, but When I was 12 years old, I'll never forget, I was throwing a tennis ball against the garage door in Birmingham, Michigan. And my father comes out. He says, "We're moving to Italy." And I went, "You have to be kidding me." But all I could hear in my head was that tennis ball hitting that door. And it turns out that that door was spruce. So I go there to Italy. And it was just the beginning of so many spectacular things. And meeting a great man, Moraschini, who was 94 at the time. And he just made an impression on me. Moraschini spoke about 1 inch deep of English, and I spoke about 1.25 inches of Italian. And we would sit there for hours and just talk. There's a connection you get with somebody. It was just really special. Anyway, turns out we were sitting underneath this beautiful persimmon tree. I had no idea this would be my inspiration. So we made these drums. What's going on here is there's a persimmon and spruce. Now, persimmon is harder than Purple Heart. Spruce is a very musical wood. And so that's where I started to play with this. There's 9 plies in total. 3 plies are spruce, which makes it a very projecting sound, at the same time very mellow with tonality. Quilted maple on the outside. Why did I pick quilted maple? Because it's the hardest one in the world to find. The inlay work is just, you gotta behold this. It's one of those craftsman deals that enamors me so much. The inlays are all Santos rosewood. And instead of just polished gold, I thought I'd try something else. So I tried the antique gold. I love it. It's my inspiration for 50 years. So as much as I'm proud of this, the pedal that goes along with it is a big part of our heritage.
The pedal is one of the most important parts of our success because we know how important it is to your success. The bass drum pedal is what kind of has to disappear so you feel like you're sitting at the drums and the pocket you're creating is happening through your feeling and what you want to put out of your drum set. We took a look at the pedal and all the innovation we had through those 50 years. What if we figured out a way to make the 5000 even lighter? So we actually made a carbon fiber footboard which feels weightless under the ball of your foot. That's our goal, is to inspire you to play and do even bigger and better things than you ever thought you could do when you get behind these drums. Of course, we have 2 carbon fiber footboards on the double, which is a pedal that really spurred us as far as innovation goes. And when the pedals, the hardware, and the drums all work together seamlessly, they become part of you to create. That's where the magic happens.
I appreciate all of you for allowing Don and myself to really bring to you some of the best offerings we can possibly give you. And I can't wait to show you what's up for the next 50 years. Thank you.
Early on, when I was starting Drum Channel, Neil Peart wanted to do a Buddy Rich Memorial Concert. And so we put various artists together. Like Terry Bozzio, who's here tonight also, was one of the artists that played in that. So it was with a big band, and the idea was not to do the traditional Buddy Rich Chopsy type big band charts, but have drummers who you wouldn't think would be big band drummers sit in with a big band and show how, you know, their time field would influence that style of music, not thinking it's your grandparents' music, just it's a big band playing really cool things. Chad came up with the really cool versions of a couple of songs that he wanted to do. The most fun for me, I mean, a guy who is a consummate drummer, plays in front of hundreds of thousands of people, sweating backstage before he goes on to play. Like, what have you gotten me into, Don? The place was packed, and he killed it.
And everyone killed it.
It was great. Yeah.
The greatest line from Terry Bozzio was, I said, "Hey, have a great gig," and he goes, "You want to have a great gig? Phone in a bomb threat on this one."
So, in terms of new products that we have another video that we're going to show you in a few minutes, but we want to talk about how important innovation is to us through the years. In those beginning years in the 70s, I think we had altogether, I think I've got about 60 patents. I think the company has over 80, but there was ones at the beginning that kind of...
That means I have 16.
You probably do.
Okay.
We differentiated ourselves in a way in which I knew we could only be successful if we did something different and better. We're making it in America. It's going to be more expensive. We're going against huge corporations. We can't just do another something. We have to do something that's really different.
But you didn't ever think that way. It was just you did
He's
it.
telling me how I think.
But you didn't think about, let's do something better against somebody else. So we never thought that way.
The point was, if we're going to come out with a product, we would not want to come out with just another cymbal stand or another pedal or another drum set. There's got to be something that makes it unique and different, because that's what's going to open up the doors so that drummers can become more creative. The biggest compliment we ever have is when somebody says, "It inspired me. I got your kit and it inspired me to do something, or inspired me to play differently." The double pedal as a hardware example of that. We were the first company, a lot of young people out there probably don't even know this, who perfected the double pedal, or who had a chain drive pedal as a company. We didn't invent that, but we pretty much perfected it. And from that came the remote hi-hat. There's a whole list of things that kind of grew off of that.
Don sent me out on the road. I was with Chad Wackerman, who's over there someplace. I mean, it was such a great experience with Frank Zappa, and they had hitch pins. Remember that?
Yeah, Keltner also got one of our first prototypes. I've heard a story about him,
oh,
too.
God.
Took it on the road and it exploded.
It just exploded.
Yeah.
He said there were springs and stuff everywhere. Anyway, but Chad would play the crap out of it, like Chad does, Chad Smith. And what would happen was the pins would wear a hole in the thing, and so it just got really loose.
Yeah.
But you have to go out and you have to fail. You really have to.
Well, I don't know that I've told you this in a long time, and we'll move on to the next subject matter we have here. But
he doesn't want to hear about that.
Steve Gadd wanted a pedal. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And he was actually in town doing a session in L.A., and he wanted to try the double pedal, and so I took it down to him, and he thought it didn't feel quite, as loose as he kind of wanted it. And he had a double pedal that I'd given him some time before that was virtually falling apart. The pin that holds the heel was almost like a quarter of an inch out of the way. So I brought it back, and I thought, well, I'll try different springs. I got a different spring. I got a different cam. So brought it back to him. Wasn't quite what he was looking for. And then I said, well, he said, like, that's the company, you can do something like the one that I've got, but just so that it would be more stable. So I realized he wanted something that felt like it was almost falling apart. So we made a very loose hinge, one I wouldn't ship to anybody, a very loose hinge, drilled it oversized, but I put a bushing on the end so it wouldn't come out, and took it down to him, and that was perfect. But my point is, you find out what the customer wants when you're talking to great drummers, which is who we are blessed to know and all.
Wasn't that like a leather hinge?
Yeah, we did various versions of that.
Yeah.
But what we're going to talk about next and show you a video of, and then and we're going to kind of scoot off, and there's going to be another group that's going to come on here.
He's trying to get rid of me right now.
No, this is going to be something where you, before.
But I want to sit here all night with you.
Before I get rid of you, talk about. Let's. What's the best way to do this?
This is like the most awkward moment in the world.
Yeah, this is good. This is why we're here for 50 years, folks. We look back and we laugh at ourselves at seeing what we're doing through these things. I know what we should do, John.
Yeah.
Let's play the video about what we're going to see next, and then we have a couple of surprise guests who are going to come up here, and you are going to have your minds blown. In terms of solving problems for drummers, that they knew they had or they didn't think could ever be solved. Some are like, it can't be done. And I think you're going to go home and you're going to watch it out there, and you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, did that happen? Did I see that? Was that really going on? And
They're all going to wake up with hangovers.
that could be possible too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but what you're going to see is really happening, and happening in a big way, and something we're really excited about as we launch into the next 50 years of our manufacturing life and life together.
All of our family and
Yep.
everyone who's our major family is our employees, and everyone from Don's family to mine. My wife is right here. She makes the best pumpkin muffins in the
Oh, we
world.
can't wait until that time of the year comes, right?
No, they're coming November 16th. Yeah.
In case anybody's wondering if they want to come out to the factory on November
She makes
16th,
800 of
you
them.
can get good pumpkins, right?
Anyway, but
Let's-
that's innovation as well, because the secret is with. Don't tell. Okay,
Okay,
applesauce.
okay.
Anyway,
We've got another secret that we're going to show you too, but let's take a look at this video. And thank you, John. Yeah.
I think it's time we share our latest innovation, John.
I'm so excited. I mean, this is exciting for me personally.
Our focus has always been solving problems for drummers, and that's something that motivates us every single day, and this product is absolutely no different.
Probably the most important thing we've ever done is listening to the drumming community. Helping artists express their creativity is really one of the things that keeps me going.
It's really great to have Chad Wackerman here celebrating his 40th anniversary as a DW artist, showing us our newest innovation.
In so many ways, this represents 50 years of honing our craft. Thank you, Con. You know, I'm so excited about the whole construction of this kit. It really embodies what I love to hear. This is a maple shell, but it's a 3-3-3 shell. And the bearing edge is 45 degrees with a countercut from the outside, which fits the drum head so nicely. You know, when you play it, you just go, gosh, that's some beautiful deep tones. And acoustically, it's a great drum.
I thought one thing that was really special about this new kit was the expanded versatility and the big range of sound.
Most important thing for me was to make something new that drummers would be proud to play. And I believe that this one accomplishes all.
For sure, helping drummers affect a sound that's their signature sound has been a priority of ours for 50 years now, John.
50 years, wow.
And with this latest innovation, we're going to be adding technology to the drummer's toolbox so he can have technology be part of his future.
I'm back, actually. And we have joining us today to talk more in detail about what we're going to be looking at in the big unveil. Have a seat here. Marcus Ryle. Those of you who might know Marcus. This is what appears to be another DW drum set. And you'll find out a lot more about that in a few minutes as Chad sits behind it. And Thomas Lang is going to be joining us also.
Hey Chad, hey Thomas.
This is the magic part of the show, you know, where you see those shows where the guy does this unbelievable magic. Tell them a little bit about your drumming history.
Well, yeah,
not as a drummer.
I guess some that might know me. Yeah, I'm a failed drummer. I'm just a lowly keyboard player, and you might wonder what's a keyboard player doing up here at a DW show. And we actually have a long history with DW. DW was an early pioneer in digital drums. They were distributing the Dynacord digital drum set back in 1987. Which my company, Fast Forward Designs,
yes, I was ahead of my
Dynacord.
time and lost my ass trying to distribute that company.
It was a little early, but about 3 years ago, Chris Lombardi called me up and said, we're working on something kind of special. We'd love for you to take a look at it. And that's what you all are getting a chance to see for the very first time right now. And I can tell you all, I was very skeptical when he told me what they were doing, because I have some experience with wireless and with technology, and I thought, oh boy, I'm going to have to let Chris down gently because it seems like a really bad idea. But then I was blown away with what they were doing and said, count me in. I'd love to be a part of this team. And what this is DW is so known for amazing handcrafted drums. This, I'd like to call it, it's kind of the first time what you have is handcrafted technology, where these drums are every bit a DW drum kit. And in fact, if you put regular drum heads on the drum kit, which it'll come with those, it is a classic, wonderful DW drum kit. But with some magic we've put inside and some special heads, you'll see that there are no microphones, no wires, no power, no nothing, just a beautiful DW drum kit and this little box that you hook up to your computer and some wonderful software called Soundworks with amazing set of drum sounds. And we've now created a truly unique experience in electronic drums. And
Thomas, maybe tell us your reaction when you first played them.
Well, obviously, as you can see, beautiful DW kit. My first reaction was, wow, just another beautiful acoustic drum set. And then there was the reveal of what's inside them, and I was blown away. I mean, not only is it beautiful, it feels great. All the dimensions are right. It's a real acoustic drum set that has all these added capabilities, and the response is amazing. It looks beautiful. And then, of course, the game changer for me was the fact that it's wireless. I mean, look at this. Usually this would be a total mess with lots of cable salad all over. It would take forever to set up. And there it is. It's all there inside of the drum. So it's a drum set on steroids for me, and best of both worlds. Best of the acoustic drums and everything else you need. It's amazing for practicing. It's quiet if you want it to be quiet. It's an acoustic kit if you have a weekend show, and it's electronic for whenever you need it. So it's amazing. I was blown away.
awesome.
Yeah.
Chad, what about some of the sounds?
I was very fortunate to be asked to help create a lot of the sound library, which we blocked out a studio for a couple months, and every drum was mic'd with 15 mics, various parts of the room. Within the software, you can choose which mics you want to have for each individual drum or the whole set. If you want a very John Bonham-esque sound, you might want to feature the far away room mics a bit more compressed, or you may choose the overhead sound a bit more for a jazz thing, or maybe not the directional mics, but you have all these choices. It was meticulously recorded, so you're getting very, very, very audiophile kind of sound with all these different kits that we've sampled so far, and that's going to be an ongoing thing too. There's going to be a pretty massive drum and cymbal and percussion sound library with this. So
Now, I think you guys are getting a chance to see firsthand, and like me, your first question might be like, how is it possible that wireless can work? This is as close to magic as it gets. I can tell you the technology is really brilliant because unlike wireless microphones, which you might have heard drop out a little earlier today, these things, they're set up so that they only send a very small message only when the drum is hit, and then the drum wireless is off. And as a result, the wireless transmission is so short and so fast that the wireless communication is actually about 10 times faster than MIDI. So the wireless does not introduce any latency to the process. On top of that, because the radio is on for such a short amount of time, these are all being run by just AA batteries, pair of AA batteries, and under normal daily playing, they'll last over a year. Pretty amazing, right? Come on.
An applause for the DW team that's been working on this for 5 or 6 years.
There's a huge team. This started, Mark Morales and Chris Lombardi had this vision 6 years ago, and from there the team has grown and involved a number of very amazing, talented people in the software and the hardware and the wireless and the mechanical. And what they've put together, I think, is a real testament to what DW stands for, because this was a product that none of you were going to see until it was truly amazing. And I'd have to say, I think this is truly amazing.
Acoustic drums are part of a drummer's life. Electronic drums are part of a drummer's life, especially young drummers today. That's why we're so excited about our relationship with Roland and the fact that we can come out with the best of both worlds right out of the gate, because it's got to be in a young drummer's toolbox if he's going to be successful today. Chad, I thank you so much for joining us today and playing so much. Thank you, thank you.
Chad and Thomas, it's amazing.
Thomas also. Chad Smith, wherever Chad's back there. Chad Smith, thank you so much.
Pretty good. If you would like to say it.
So here's my marketing ploy for the day. The DWE kit is a no-brainer. Hey!
It's a dad joke. You get it?
Because there's no brain required. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it.